The New Statesman has raised a very entertaining concept of Marine Le Pen being a sort of revived Liz Truss. I think Marine Le Pen's abilities are significantly more accomplished than Liz Truss's. I remember being told quite early on in Liz Truss's triumphant time in Number 10 that she was taking lessons from a an acting coach to try and improve her hand movements. So she had been given hand exercises, what I called hand jobs, to do every day. You can imagine Liz Truss sort of finishing her paperwork or foregoing going through her red boxes to practice her hand jobs. And however much she practiced, she was as wooden and as inane as ever at the end of her tenure as she was at the beginning. And her hand actions have never improved, but instead they have been surmounted by a sort of inane grin, an inane sort of toothless grin, looking around the place to find somebody who is nodding in approval like her parents. I don't think even her parents would be nodding in approval. This is somebody who has been abandoned by society and by sense. Or maybe she did the abandoning, maybe she abandoned society, maybe she abandoned sense. So I think a comparison between Liz Truss and Marine Le Pen, whether you like Marine Le Pen or not, is a terribly unfair and unfortunate comparison, but it is entertaining. And I so much enjoyed reading this article. So the comparison between France's current economic and political situation and a Liz Truss moment as a sort of articulated hand job, a Gallic hand job, revolves around the potential financial instability and the political fallout stemming from controversial policy decisions and controversial election results. And so economically, you've got the bond market sensitivity, and it's similar to the UK experience under Liz Truss. And the French bond market has shown signs of instability. And when President Emmanuel Macron called his surprise election, French bond yields spiked, reflecting increased perceived risk. And the spread between French and German bond yields reached levels not seen since the 2012 European debt crisis, indicating heightened market anxiety about French fiscal policies. The French government is due to present a new budget in October, which needs to balance ambitious social policies like lowering the retirement age and increasing the minimum wage with reducing the national deficit. The challenge is significant as France spends 11% of its GDP on interest payments. The political context here is the coalition government, which lacks a strong majority, must navigate precarious coalition problems with left-wing parties, and this makes passing any budget and other crucial legislation by Gabriel Attal challenging. If the government fails to present a viable fiscal plan, market confidence will deteriorate, leading to further crises in bond yields, financial instability, and this could pressure French financial institutions similarly to the impact on UK pension funds during the Truss Kwarteng mini-budget crisis. And, what can one do in response to that except for pour scorn and make satirical giggles? The French citizens, particularly those with assurance vie accounts, could react strongly to any threat to their retirement savings. And such a scenario could lead to political upheaval, a rise in populism, in much the same sort of way that it's happened in the UK. Unlike the UK, however, France must adhere to EU fiscal rules, and an excessive deficit procedure, an EPD, could limit France's ability to manage its debt through measures like those used by the Bank of England. Is that Is that some sort of security? No, I think that's probably more constraint and more crisis. Liz Truss, let's go back to her, because apparently she's ruled out the idea of turning up on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I don't know whether her place and the money offered to her will now be offered to Penny Mordaunt. Penny Mordaunt is not a stranger to reality TV, if you remember the swimsuit. And Liz Truss, after her brief and tumultuous experience as Prime Minister, after her absent experience as continuing as a constituency MP, will face serious challenges if she wants to reinvent her political career. I don't think it's reinventable. And I don't think she is somebody who takes advice or does the hard work necessary to get back into power. If her energetic incompetence in the manual stakes, her absurd handjobs, are anything to go by, and her praise of Kwasi Kwarteng's prodigious package, her vacuous praise, is anything to go by, her career is over. Her lack of self-awareness, her failure to accept responsibility for her policy missteps, not only damaged her own reputation, it damaged the nation. And it damaged anybody she was associated with. Kwasi Kwarteng is perhaps one of the best examples. So to regain trust, she would need to demonstrate humility. It's like sort of asking Liz Truss to emulate the Virgin Mary. It's not going to happen. She needs to have a clearer understanding of her past mistakes. Well, that would involve doing a little bit of work and reading her briefs. That's never going to happen either. So she's expressed a disinterest in participating in reality TV shows, preferring to focus on political change. And there has been talk about her turning up on news channels like GBNews, but she is so unutterably wooden. I don't know quite whether a producer could do anything. They'd have to sort of glue her arms under the desk so she wasn't flapping around like a demented chicken. And I don't see this as a way forward somehow. I think she's consigned to some sort of dark back room where she can be visited by, I don't know, people in need of oracular consolation, like some sort of high priestess of camp absurdity. You can imagine her sitting on a tripod reading the runes. And it would all be wrong, but she'll be empowered by snake venom, probably provided by Kemi Badenoch or Suella Braverman or somebody. Maybe Therese Kofi can provide some. It's the madness, the Delphic Oracle, the new Delphic Oracle, Liz Truss. She has no way back to reshaping her public image, because her public image was flatlined when she was in office. Similar steps have been taken by other former politicians, but they tend to have had a small element of personality beforehand. Liz Truss has the personality of a failing potato. Anyway, France faces significant economic and political challenges that could lead to their own Liz Truss moment, but I think even France would struggle to find their Liz Truss personality, their Liz Truss actor. I don't think it exists except in the UK, except in England. I don't think Wales or Scotland would produce a Liz Truss. You know, when you look at Nicola Sturgeon, whatever you may think about Nicola Sturgeon, she is a bubbling, entertaining, compelling political performer. Liz Truss is a leaden marionette. And I don't believe any strategic reinvention, any PR support can possibly help her to regain public trust, public relevance, public appearances. Both France and Britain, of course, underscore the intricate balance between policy decisions, market reactions, public perception in contemporary politics, and Liz Truss should be waved like a flag to deter even the bravest, but certainly to deter the ridiculous.